This mutation is called No Money, More Problems. And we surely do have a lack of money because we have slim pickings active. And we definitely do have an abundance of problems as well. We have Twister and Self-Destruction. Overall, not a very difficult mutator set. As long as you are paying attention to the minimap and making sure that you do not end up getting wrecked by these twisters, as this drone was about to find out, it should not be too bad. The one thing to note though about this set is that it is not really worth taking an expansion unless you really need the resources for whatever reason. You will sometimes see it being done with just taking the gases, because you usually shorten the gases more than you are on the minerals. But for slim pickings, what you'll probably want is to make sure that you don't really make that many drones, but whatever workers you have, you put them in patrol move, or you have them actively micro to pick up any of the drops that are available on the ground, because that is how you will be able to get your economy up and running. Now, additionally, this mission itself is not particularly difficult. It's a relatively relaxed mission in the sense that, you know, as long as you're picking up the crystals, as long as you're going where it's telling you to go, you should be able to complete the mission with relative ease. So we are playing Horner and Kerrigan over here, and it is very likely that Kerrigan might be doing a solo Kerrigan build, so we'll see what the plan is here. Because slim pickings will require you to spend a lot of resources on your army, and with slim pickings active, you will end up finding that your army is not as strong as it normally would be, so you end up losing a lot more units than you normally would. So you end up spending a lot more resources on your army than you would in a regular mission where you had access to properly sized mineral fields and whatnot. So it is very, very possible that Kerrigan will be going for a solo build over here. We have an engineering, an evolution chamber already, and here Kerrigan's heroic fortitude upgrade being researched, which is very, very good for Kerrigan. That upgrade should be the first upgrade that you should be getting pretty much under all circumstances. Kerrigan is a really powerful hero unit in the early game, and you know, she can carry you up to like the 10-minute mark because she's just that strong. And utilizing Kerrigan is just good practice. Kerrigan will allow you to go and get your army out a little bit later on in the game, while she carries the early stages. So we have a bunch of mag mines that are here for Horner, and this will be used to try and deal with the first stack wave of this mission. So we have a bunch of Zerglings, which is a little bit of a problem. Kerrigan does cast her Assimilation Aura, which does end up building up a lot of resources for Horner, and this area has been cleared. Now Kerrigan is just going to go and pick up some of these drops. Over here, we have Horner just building up an armory, and Kerrigan not really producing anything. So yes, I believe Kerrigan will be going for a solo Kerrigan build here. So just slowly pushing in here and picking up whatever crystals that she can see, and I think Kerrigan might even want to try and push into this expansion area just to start weakening this side, clearing up this area. Self-destruction is pretty nasty, but if you're really paying attention with Kerrigan, it should not be too bad. That Ravager really went flying from the Twister. I feel bad for that guy, and yeah, Kerrigan is basically okay. There is a corruption debuff that gets cast on Kerrigan. As you can see here, her damage output is really, really high, and she can end up actually tanking a lot of the damage that's there. That does not mean that she is invincible, but she is a relatively tanky unit on this side. There is a space station reallocation that comes down here just to try and clear the enemy units on here, and we are waiting for the next attack wave to spawn so that we can see how the commanders end up dealing with that. Production-wise, over here we have a lair coming up for Kerrigan. And Kerrigan is just going to be waiting on here. Jumps around just to try and pick up that extra crystal on this side, and she will be moving forward to try and intercept this next attack wave. She has her assimilation already. It might be useful to try and use that against the enemy composition that she's up against. There is a mag mine that gets triggered here, and the assimilation ore does end up coming down. Overlords do unload all their Zerglings over here. The Zerglings do end up getting killed by Kerrigan, and this attack wave has been held relatively easily. And Kerrigan is after those minerals, after the gas, sorry. You will find that on slim pickings you end up flowing a lot of minerals. The gas drops are a little bit harder to come by, and it does make it a little bit more difficult. This is actually good for Horner though. Horner can make an army, and make an army of Reapers. We'll see if Horner chooses to try and take this expansion as well. They can, but to be honest, I don't find it to be very worth it. You're spending a lot of resources on your command center and your workers, and I don't really think you're going to get the benefit from that. So Kerrigan being harassed a little bit by these twisters. Goes to pick up these two gas drops over here, and since this area has been cleared out now, she can send a bunch of drones to pick up these crystals. Still have the other crystals on the other side that has to be dealt with. But Han Horner has pretty much cleared this side out. Unfortunately for Han Horner, this Zerg composition is a little bit more difficult for him to deal with, because Han Horner will lose a few Reapers, and you know, you really do not want to be losing units on a mission where you have slim pickings active. But unfortunately, that is the enemy composition that has been gotten. I believe Kerrigan has missed that gas drop, which would have been a little bit useful for her, but. So we have over here Han Horner asking whether it would be useful to get the second base, and yeah, generally speaking, slim pickings, you know, you're gonna spend, you know, as Han Horner, and there we go, yeah, that is a one base solo with Kerrigan. When you're playing with Han Horner, you're going to spend 400 minerals on your command center, and then you're going to spend another, what is it, 115 SCVs to saturate your mineral line, plus another 6 to saturate your gases. You're going to spend that many minerals on your SCVs and your command center, and your SCVs only bring back 1 mineral per trip, so the return on investment is significantly higher. Generally speaking, it's not really worth it. We have a bunch of nice worms that have come down here for, well, at least one nice worm, at least so far. Kerrigan is stifled on the gas though, but there is another attack wave now, and Kerrigan is ready to deal with that. And she'll get a lot more gas out of this as well, which will be really useful for getting some more nice worms out. Because if you're doing a solo Kerrigan build, there's no reason to not have your not be building more than 2 nice worms. Generally speaking, I like to have 2 nice worms minimum, but if you're going for a solo Kerrigan build, get your Kerrigan upgrades, and then once you are done, just keep using your nice worms as a mineral dump, and as a gas dump, because you know, you're going to be flowing a lot of resources anyway, so no reason to not do that. Over here we have the next research going up. We have the Chain Lightning upgrade coming up for Kerrigan. She already has the ability efficiency, I was just going to say that, but yes, going for the Heroic Fortitude upgrade, and then the ability efficiency upgrade, and then the Chain Lightning upgrade. And as your Kerrigan basically maxed out, attack upgrades do not affect Kerrigan, so there's no point in getting them. And then just, yeah, put down Nice Worms as a gas dump, and you will have a lot of creep spread, you will have a lot of vision around the map, and you will have a lot of mobility, and it should keep Kerrigan alive relatively well. So there's another attack wave that has come up here. This is a harass wave that has come to defend these crystals. And unfortunately, there is no assimilation aura for Kerrigan. Kerrigan will end up having to struggle a little bit with these airdrops, but that is okay. Han Horner is on this side here with the Assault Galleons. We'll be trying to clear this side, and you can see the amount of damage that Kerrigan is able to output just through that single solo hero. Completed. Do note though that this build, since this is a solo Kerrigan build, Kerrigan's primary ability damage has been increased to maximum, and her immobilization wave damage has also been increased. So this makes her really hit really hard. So just something to note here. Kerrigan is inside the Nice Worm, and there are 2 attack waves now on here. The attack wave will aggro these mag mines. Unfortunately, only one of these mag mines is going to end up hitting this attack wave. That ends up going down. Kerrigan's on this side, has no problem dealing with the rest of these units here, and her Chain Lightning upgrade is going to end up killing some of these air units. There are 2 air units on this side, and they end up getting picked off, but they do trigger some of these mag mines, so this guy gets kind of wasted on that side. Kerrigan is just over here trying to pick up some more gas, just to try and get maybe some more Nice Worms down, make it a little bit easier and have a little bit of increased mobility. The one thing to also note is these Nice Worms can also increase Kerrigan's survivability, because if you find you're taking a lot of damage, if you figured out, you know, maybe you've bitten off a little bit more than you can chew, you can always put down a Nice Worm right next to Kerrigan and jump inside and save your Kerrigan, and it's very important. So you can see already 4 Nice Worms are down, and there is a chance that there will be more here. The other advantage for having extra Nice Worms is you can actually put your drones in here. As you can see, this Nice Worm has been loaded with 8 drones. And what you can do is, you know, clear the enemy defenders, drop a Nice Worm right next to a crystal, and unload the drone and instantly pick up the crystal here. Unfortunately, the drones cannot go back inside the Nice Worm once they're carrying the crystal, but you it does make it a little bit easier. We have an assimilation aura, a jump inside, and you can see an immobilization wave instantly one-shots a lot of the units that is there. I think pretty much everything there has been one-shot and completely cleared. So Kerrigan is basically free now to go and pick these minerals and these drops over here. As you can see, the Nice Worm gets dropped on this side, and now Kerrigan has to try and contend with this side here. There's another attack wave that is making its way towards the player bases. Because the expansion has been cleared, this attack wave will go to the main base. It is not just going to stop here. So there's a Hybrid Dominator here, pretty nasty unit over here. Kerrigan jumps out of the way. Does end up getting hit still by the Hybrid Dominator. It has an increased range. Its minimum trigger range, I think, is 10. Its maximum target range is 20, so you'll have to get within 20 range away to be able to get the Hybrid Dominator to cancel its ability. You can see a lot of damage ends up coming down here for Kerrigan. Kerrigan jumps in, avoids some of the self-destruction explosions here, and does end up cleaning up that side essentially relatively well. There are two aberrations on this side that are wreaking a little bit of havoc. The two strike fires just come out and end up taking out those aberrations on here. Handhorner slowly attacking through and pushing through with the assault galleons, and Kerrigan's on this side just cleaning up this enemy base. Over here you can see Kerrigan is flowing 520 gas, so maybe useful to try and make some more Nice Worms here. You can see Kerrigan's Assimilation Aura is being very, very useful with Slim Pickings. It seems to counter the Slim Pickings Mutator a little bit at least. Counteracts the significant impact that it has here. Kerrigan's just gonna go ahead and pick up some of this gas now. That drone unfortunately did not end up picking up that crystal. I think it got interrupted by Kerrigan, or maybe it was not just clicked on the crystal itself. So maybe Kerrigan will notice that at some point. But that drone is still sitting on that Xenon crystal there, not really doing anything. So Kerrigan is ready now. She has an immobilization wave, so she's just going to jump in. Immobilization wave instantly one-shots a lot of the stuff there, and the hybrid destroyer gets taken out. And now Kerrigan is just going to focus down on this hybrid dominator here, and one more leap just ends up killing off that Dominator. Unfortunately over here, that drone has still not picked up that crystal, and that crystal actually might end up getting lost. Okay, there, final pickup on that crystal over there. The drone will have to move up on this side to keep it safe. There is an attack wave here as well that is somewhat problematic because it might end up killing that drone, and Kerrigan might have to move that drone again, but we'll see. It's kind of interesting that this attack wave is not moved onto this side to just minimize the distance. It's just waiting on here. That other drone has also spawned here from the Nice Worm, and it's waiting to pick up that crystal here. And Kerrigan is just cleaning up whatever is left of this enemy base.
The hive cluster is under attack.
There's an attack wave that is coming up here. Does aggro the Nice Worm, and all of Handhorner's assault galleons just get taken out by the Scourge. The Scourge do a lot of damage combined with the Viper's parasitic bombs. So that is very, very unfortunate for Handhorner. That really stinks. A total of 7 assault galleons have gone down for Handhorner. Kerrigan has just lost Nice Worms, but these are the 3 Nice Worms that are spawned. Kerrigan does jump in with another assimilation aura, ends up taking out this attack wave and building up a lot more resources for herself. As you can see, Handhorner really struggling with the mineral count here. Kerrigan flowing a lot of minerals and a lot of gas. I don't know if Kerrigan will want to put down some more Nice Worms just to have... 4 Nice Worms is more than enough. It provides enough mobility, but like I said, just putting down some extra Nice Worms will just provide Kerrigan with a little bit more of a safety net there. Kerrigan does get knocked back here by the... and we have a space station reallocation which ends up getting cast. Unfortunately, Kerrigan was in the middle of an immobilization wave cast, which was semi-wasteful. But the drones have spawned now out of these Nice Ones, and they will come up to pick up these Xenon crystals here and make their way back home. Kerrigan's immobilization wave is still 2 minutes away from being used again, and Kerrigan's assimilation aura is 5 seconds away. But so far so good. All the crystals have been collected as they have spawned, and you can just kind of see the power of Kerrigan's solo build here. Like, there's not really much to do with it. Just Kerrigan as a hero is just such an insanely strong commander. Very, very powerful. Just takes a little bit of time to get her upgrades, because her upgrades are a little bit more expensive, take a little bit more time to complete. But once you have that up and running, you're basically invincible if you're paying attention to your Kerrigan, which is basically 1 unit, so it should not be too bad. We have a nice worm that has spawned on this side. So just putting down these nice worms just gives a little bit more detection. Hand Horner is back with 4 more assault galleons and should be good to go. One of the main issues that Hand Horner will face is because this is a swarmy Zerg composition. There are a lot of Scourge and Vipers in the attack waves. So it is going to be very difficult for Hand Horner to actually engage these waves. You can see a lot of Banelings on this side. But again, the Simulation Ore comes down. A lot of self-destruction goes down here on Kerrigan. Kerrigan does end up running through. But you can see these the self-destruction combined with the shell that Kerrigan gets is able to keep her alive. Hand Horner is slowly pushing in, using the support of the Strike Fire platforms to weaken the enemy forces. But again, there are a lot of Corruptors here and a Hybrid Behemoth, which will end up dealing a lot of damage to these Reapers. So all these Reapers do end up going down. There are a few more units that are a bit alive here, but Kerrigan is here, has picked up some of these crystals. There's one more crystal on this side. This crystal is safe. This is in the little nook on that side. Kerrigan jumps in with a leap, casts in the mobilization wave, takes out pretty much all the units that are there on this side, and now just works her way on this Dominator, and this Dominator will end up going down as well. So Hand Horner has managed to keep the Assault Galleons alive. He's just rebuilding some more of the Reapers over here. As you can see, Hand Horner is a little bit struggling there. There is another Hybrid Dominator here, but I think Kerrigan might be taking too much damage from that Dominator and the self-destruction. There is a lot of Broodlords there, and Kerrigan goes down. Kerrigan bit off a little bit more than she can chew, and there is an attack wave that has spawned on this side that is going to end up taking out Hand Horner's command center. Hand Horner's command center does go down. The starport is getting focused down by the aberrations as well as some of the other units there. And unfortunately, Kerrigan does not have any army units to help her ally. So they have to wait for Kerrigan to respawn unless Hand Horner is able to deal with that. So down goes that starport. A refinery also goes down. The engineering base is going to go down, and a lot of the supply depots are going to end up going down as well. Hand Horner realizes it, does end up taking out some of these aberrations, but there's still one aberration and 2 Zerglings. And another call down gets used here, and this will end up cleaning up this attack wave. So Hand Horner has taken a lot of damage on this side. He'll have to rebuild with his SCV. He does have an SCV alive there, which is kind of lucky for him. And Kerrigan is out now. And Kerrigan is going to make her way back here and exact her revenge on this Hybrid Dominator there. Hybrid Dominator's Plasma Blast goes down Kerrigan. Kerrigan jumps in, gets the shell, and that nullifies the Plasma Blast as well as some of the damage that's getting created by the self-destruction. Now we just have a bunch of Broodlords that are available, and these Broodlords will eventually end up dying to Kerrigan. So Kerrigan has a little bit of a focus fire down on these Broodlords, kites a little bit of these Broodlings, jumps away, just kills off some of these other Broodlings here, and that Broodlord goes down. A bunch of Magmines have spawned on this side, unfortunately not very useful. So we have now another crystal here, which Kerrigan can send a drone to pick up. And the bonus wants to get done as well. Not really a bad idea, because the mission is pretty much in control. Unfortunately, the drone does end up going down. Hybrid Dominator does end up casting its ability on Kerrigan as well. Kerrigan will end up wiping this Dominator and the remaining Behemoth on this island. There is another attack wave that is making its way towards Hand Horner's base. So this might be a little bit of a time-sensitive issue, because the attack wave is pretty nasty, and I do not believe Hand Horner has any Magmines in position over here. Hand Horner has used their Magmines on this part, but Hand Horner needs to put down some Magmines here to deal with the
hive cluster is under
There is a little bit of aggro here on this nice one. This attack wave seems to have paused for some reason, and is not making its way back. Kerrigan is going to start working her way here. There are a bunch of Reapers here to help Kerrigan as well. And there goes the attack wave here. Unfortunately, the Magmines might be a little bit too late here. There are a few Magmines that were dropped a little bit earlier, but yeah, those Magmines end up going down. There is a space station reallocation, which ends up getting cast here. Does end up taking out a lot of the attack wave, and Strike Fire platform just clean up whatever's left here. Kerrigan does drop in here just to make sure Hand Horner is okay, and she has now created some connectivity here as well with this final island here. There's another attack wave that has dropped here, but fortunately has not aggroed Hand Horner's army, and Kerrigan is now ready to clean up this last molten cell before she deposits the last crystal into this environmental stabilizer. Kerrigan is over here. Molten Cell has spawned, combined with the DPS from Kerrigan, and the Reapers do end up getting... they actually ended up surviving there with... At least a lot of them ended up surviving. That is the last crystal deposited, and that is Viridia Prime saved again by Kerrigan and her friend Hand Horner. So So there we go. That is GG.